if something else has to tell you what your morals are, you don't have morals. In our latest episode of Drop the Stones, we're talking with our good friend Sarah, the Appalachian Oracle, and she brought up an observation that I found to be quite astute, if you will, and that was the difference between when she deconstructed and when she was in religion. In religion, and the religious mindset has its morals dictated to it, whether it be as they want to claim the Bible, but it's more apt to be said it's dictated through the interpretation of others of the Bible to them on what their morals are. And then post deconstruction, it was about what you had on the inside, which, if you look at that and you look at biblical teaching and everything else and what we were always told in church, we have to have Christ inside of us. Accept Jesus into your heart and let him overtake everything. If we have that mindset, then why wouldn't that be an eternal work on us to develop our moral code and what we deem good and necessary and right in the world? Why can it come from inside of us and not have to be dictated to us from another source, an outside source saying, no, what you're doing, even though what's telling me on the inside is this is what I need to do in this situation, this is what I'm allowed to do in this situation. If that contradicts what the outside source is, then my internal compass is wrong. So that inner dwelling spirit of Christ isn't true inside of me. And it just contradicts their teachings and what they believe, that you have to have this relationship. Allow Jesus to take over your life. And they're going to try to claim that that's your fleshly mind and spirit taking over and try to overwhelm things. But the truth of the matter is I would rather have it on the internal. It would really reflect a personal relationship with, if you want to say, if you're still Christian, the Lord and Jesus, or as I might say, a personal relationship with humanity and the world around me, to understand that my actions have consequences, that I have to accept this and take liability and responsibility for anything that I do in this world. And accept the fact that maybe I'm doing something that I didn't see as evil or negative or have any negative connotation on other people, but understand that it did, learn and grow from that, and redefine and develop my moral code as I go, in a learning process on the whole thing. Instead of being taught from birth, this is what you do, this is what you do. Because then I'm just spoon-fed rules and regulations to follow. And it allows me to not consciously think or act or interact with myself and interpret each situation as it is in the world. It makes the world extremely black and white when it comes from the outside in, that this is always right or always wrong. So then when I'm in a situation dealing with humanity in a unique situation, I can't vary anywhere in this because it's always right or always wrong. Take abortion, for example. Is it always right or always wrong? Rarely. There are exceptions to every rule, and that there's a lot of gray area in there. In coming to quality of life of the mother and the child and the actual life of the mother and child. But religious mindset and the rule system doesn't allow that to be dictated. And if you start to contemplate that and start seeing it gray, you're wrong and get corrected on that. So this outside rules coming in is not a great way to live, because it just tells me one thing, that these people are controlled by what someone else will do. They're pawns in a game that will do and whatever they want, which means it allows for evil things to happen in the world. And if you look through history, religion has not been the only cause of evil in the world, but has been a cause numerous times in the world. There are a lot of blood on the hands of religious mindset people in this world. And it's because of this rules being interpreted and morals being put into people. We have to do these things. We have to harm other people because it's in the name of God. And God is telling us to go out and battle this and fight for this and hurt these people and oppress them. And maybe it's not bloodshed today yet, but you see it happening in communities around us. We need to oppress all these communities around us because they aren't red, white, and blue Christians like we are. And we need to oppress them and get rid of them because our God tells us to. And we're not going to look at the humanity. We're going to neglect what the Bible tells us about reaching out and helping the downtrodden, the poor, the needy, and coming alongside of them. And do exactly the opposite of what Jesus taught. Because we are getting dictated our morals from the outside in. When people can start realizing that the moral code comes from yourself and you, and growing it as you keep going and understanding the consequences and the responsibility that you have, you can have the best morals anywhere in the world. There are going to be a lot more moral atheists and non-believers in the world because they understand their consequences and effects on the people around them than there are going to be Christians that are going to end up justifying the evil and the harm that they do in the name of their Lord and the interpretations that they've been dictated to.